can tell you that there are two gentlemen who will be coming out that are within earshot, so maybe we can let them know how excited we are to see this one. Let's get it started with no more announcements or anything. It's my pleasure to introduce Jeff Jensen with EW for the Visionary panels with J.J. Abrams and Joss Whedon.
Thanks for coming.
Like this.
Our guests today need little introduction to any of you in this room. Their combined fantasy worlds alone could inspire a 4-day fan convention and proverbial pop culture Mardi Gras. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Angel. Firefly. Dollhouse. Dr. Horrible, sing along. Felicity. Alias. Lost.
Whatever.
Maybe we should just save the applause for the end. It's a really long resume. Fringe. Mission Impossible. Cloverfield. And Star Trek. These are the signature works of Joss Whedon and J.J. Abrams, but their creative fingerprints have been all over the pop culture of the past 20 years, as they have contributed to all sorts of entertaining joyrides, Toy Stories, and fun time Armageddon in movies, television, and yes, even comic books. They produce, write, direct, make music, and have been known to act, and they, like you, are fans. Their work has been inspired by the passion they have for the stories of their youth, and their influences continue to inspire their current work, which is helping to lead us into the future of entertainment. Don't you think it would be cool if, like, J.J. Abrams and Joss Whedon, like, teamed up and, like, made a movie or a TV show? Well, they're not. But I say we bring them out here and bully them into it. Please welcome to the stage J.J. Abrams and Joss Whedon. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having us.
The people are excited.
Test.
So you guys like know each other, right?
Yes, we do. We have met. Back in the day, on WB, when we were doing Felicity and you were doing your spectacular shows. Yes, we were. We met at the parties. We think. We don't remember very well. But we do know each other.
Yeah.
And then we've never met.
Have you had the opportunity to like talk to each other often, or exchange notes?
Yeah, we've partied. No, we have not that hard. We've not partied. But we have, we talk. We've had dinner, but we don't see each other that much. We seem to be kind of busy. But I hear about you through like Drew Goddard and stuff. Yes, Drew Goddard. This entire panel will be about Drew Goddard. He told me to say that.
Before we get into sort of like the questions, just let you know we will have time for questions from you guys, so we're going to leave that toward the end. You guys have been to Comic-Con many times. You guys are big fans of the things that you love. What's the most extreme thing that you guys have done in the name of fandom and in your entire pop culture consuming life? JJ, do you want to take that one?
The most extreme thing?
Yeah. Or
I mean, when I was a kid, I would send fan letters to people that I love, but usually they were not actors or directors. They were usually like the makeup people. So like I sent letters to like Dick Smith and Tom Savini, and Dick Smith did like The Exorcist, and he was one of the greats. And he sent me the tongue from The Exorcist in a box. I was like 14, and I opened up this box, and there was a tongue, an extension with a note, handwritten note that said, "Put some peanut butter in it, stick it in," and my mom was like, "What the fuck is that?" She was so, that was mostly my family.
do you still have the tongue?
Oh yeah.
You did?
I did. Should have brought the tongue.
You should. did you guys decide that you wanted to be storytellers? What was the inspiration that made you want to do what you guys do today?
I decided that JJ wanted to be a storyteller. Just a lad. I always wanted to be a storyteller. There's never been any doubt. I had no idea what form that would take. I just knew I couldn't make an honest living because that sounded hard. And I just felt, I had these universes in my head. I didn't study writing, and I knew I wanted to make films. Probably that was what it was going to be. But I knew I'd create them, but I didn't really think about writing them. And then when I started to write television specs, because I actually needed to eat food and live under a roof, that's when I realized, oh my God, writing is, and will always be, the thing by which I define myself.
I think that for me it was, when I was a kid, I was, and I guess still am, the idiot who loved to do magic tricks for my relatives. So I was just always doing things, and they would be like, oh, wow, that was amazing, and try and convince me they were amazed. But it was sort of that, I guess, that feeling of creating an illusion and making people believe something was real they didn't expect. And since I didn't really want to become a professional magician, although I'm certainly debating it still, the idea of sort of writing seems, I guess, like a filmmaking was sort of a natural progression and another option to do sort of the same thing in a different way.
Now, I just want to, not to bring up Drew Goddard again, but he and Brian came on, we're having an argument about whether comic book nerds or magic nerds were more pathetic. And, where do you stand on that?
Well, I mean, the honest answer, you can make a joke, I could say magic nerds, but I think, honestly, that neither are really pathetic, but I think really magic nerds.
Yeah. Well, Brian also wore a cape when he did it. Did you wear a cape?
I didn't wear a cape.
Okay, then you're cool.
And I always wanted a top hat. Never had one of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of being a comic book nerd, Joss, you...
Should we wake everyone up first?
Wake up!
No. I didn't know if we bored you today.
No, they're totally into magic nerd stories. Joss, your superhero comics, comic books of all stripes, very important to you. And now you are directing probably one of those eagerly anticipated superhero movies ever, The Avengers. Is that true?
That is not an official thing. Because I think Marvel couldn't afford like a press release. So can I just make that an official thing? I'm directing The Avengers. It's just a gig,
Were The Avengers a big part of your comic book reading when you were a kid?
Yeah, they were one of the first books when George Perez was drawing them. They're on Counter-Earth. This was a big deal for me, yeah. Squadron Supreme, I'm just saying.
How did the comic book things happen for you? I mean, how did you start falling in love with them? And
this actually, in a roundabout way, because my dad was the head writer of the Electric Company, and they were going to do Spidey. They were going to do Spidey stories, so he came home with a bunch of old Spider-Man comics when I was about 9. And, just, sure, hand your son meth. That's great. So, really bad.
And that's how the comic book love.
So,
what were sort of like the seminal kind of like superhero stories of your youth?
there's so many.